Hi, I'm Lee Keller. Welcome back to Palm Breeze Cafe. We're here with Bob LaRocca from IT Security. Bob, when you're at home, there's a lot of scary things with your kids on the internet.
It's too much, actually. Yeah. I see quite a bit of it since we do this for a living, but I can't keep up with my 12-year-old daughter. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's a tough thing. I almost feel like I have to apologize because normally Palm Breeze Cafe, we have a lot of fun stuff and it's very light. But this is all very serious stuff.
It is.
They have to pay attention to this.
Absolutely. We try to make learning as much fun as possible, but the unfortunate piece is with the advent of the internet, there's just a degree of element that we cannot control.
Yeah, and
and we're doing our best to control it.
And it's sort of like the downtown community, but you can't keep your kids from going to a certain neighborhood on the internet because it all looks the same. It's right here on your monitor. It's hard to control. And one of the things that we were looking at before was like the sex offenders and the pedophile registries. Right. And we discovered that a lot of people have been entrepreneurial and they're finding ways to charge you for stuff that actually should be free information.
That's correct.
So that's pretty interesting. We've got a website here we found, though, that's pretty good. This is called Family Watchdog, and everything on here seems to be free. I didn't go into depth very much, but if I put in a city here, like if I put in like Boynton Beach,
right,
and I'm going to jump down here and I'll do Florida, I'll put in 33426 for the zip code, and this is going to find offenders in the neighborhood that I just declared. So,
right,
and these are scaled, and they've got a legend over here, so you know which one's a home, which one's where they work. It has a lot of information about sex offenders. This is
when I first
amazing.
Saw some of these sites, I couldn't believe that there were offenders living 2-3 blocks from my house, right around the corner from where we work, next door to schools. It's frightening.
If we click on these,
they do have to be registered.
It gives you all the details. Look at this.
Yes. Tells you within 1,000 feet of the nearest offender this address is. Yeah. So if you put in a school address, it'll show you that they could be living 10 feet away, 100 feet.
Wow.
And every one of those dots represents an offender's home and or workplace.
And this
and I believe you can drill
has
down
a thing for alerts.
Yes, as they move into your area and you put in a zip code, you'll get an email saying that a new offender has entered your neighborhood.
So this is actually sort of a good example because the internet now is working on our side.
Right.
And it's giving us this information. This is amazing, though. I mean, when you look at the detail of information here, like the green ones I think are schools. No, that's an offender home.
Yeah, you can click on one of those.
If I click on the green one, this is where an offender lives. It brings up, look at this picture of the guy and everything.
Right.
It can find out the convictions.
Lewd assault, sexual battery for victims under 16.
And then we can go back to our map here.
Find out exactly where he lives.
That is
the neighborhood.
Absolutely amazing. It's unbelievable that degree of detail is available to the public that easily. This is great.
Well, this shows you the internet working towards your advantage to protect your children.
Now, it shows up here also that within that zip code, I didn't give a house address or anything.
Right.
But 150 offenders, 16 of them were not mappable for some reason.
Right.
But, wow. That's a lot of information.
It's mind-boggling. They're just everywhere.
And then we also had another site over here. This is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and this is their national registry.
Right. This is off www.fbi.gov.
And you know what? We're going to put all these websites up there for everybody so that you can see these. But here you just go down to your state.
Select your state. That's correct.
And then it's going to forward you to another server. And wow, this is like a statewide search here then. And you can look statewide on this, and like here's a national and state registries. We can get information on Florida laws. Safety tips. This has got to be good. Victim information. So, you know, we've looked at a lot of negative sides of the internet. This is one of the sides that parents can use to help protect their children.
I think each parent should at least be aware of who's living in the neighborhood, where, and recognize them if need be.
This is really cool.
Sometimes you hire a clown for your kid's party, and it could be one of these people,
and
or the fellow doing your lawn out front.
You can do a low-level background check on people this way.
Absolutely.
In fact, I believe over in that other one that we did, the Watchdog site, they had an item. Let me get back to the beginning here. Yeah, here you can put in somebody's last name, and you could actually search to see if they're in that specific state and if they're on that registry.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them have been noted to move quite frequently as well, due to the harassment that they do get once they're found out.
We see it on the news a great deal, too. So
right.
This is a wonderful site. I'm glad you brought it to my attention. You mentioned things here about do you know your children's friends, and physically and electronically. You really have to go to that other world.
You can't stress enough to your child to just deal with people they know, physically know, and not to strike up new relationships with people who are unseen or pretend to be their age, or the worst is to meet in person. There is an acronym for that. It escapes my mind right now, but...
What was it?
But
I'll find it.
That's the one your children have to be most careful about, that says, let's meet in person.
Yeah, and F2F.
Face-to-face.
Face-to-face, that's the one.
Those are the most deadliest types of acronyms you should be looking over your child's shoulder for, or going back into the logging of their conversations on email.
This is really amazing.
Yeah.
I know when my children were younger, I used to have the computer in a location where I could walk by and glance at what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to do the internet with your kids, and parents really have to be aware more today. You've got a responsibility to learn how to use the internet so that you're aware of where they're going, what neighborhoods they're playing in, as you said.
It's unbelievable. I remember the worst thing my father had to do was adjust the antenna on the roof without falling off and breaking his neck.
It has changed a lot, and
we've come quite a long way since then.
It's a scary place out there, and the cyber world is just a little harder for some people to learn to control if you're a parent.
One thing I'd like to bring up, since we've been doing all this monitoring and protection, that our district gets attacked 16,000 plus times a day.
Wow.
From all over the world, and fortunately they've all been blocked.
That's great.
So,
okay, well, that's our episode on IT security, and it really it's not just the school district security.
Right.
It's home.
Home is
a lot
paramount.
of responsibilities.
That's true.
So thanks for coming to Palm Breeze Cafe. I hope this was very informative for you, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you.